Yesterday, I shot a quick video titled Arrest Angelina Jolie for War Crimes. And since then, it's been in literally dozens of newspapers. The Drudge Report picked it up. And I really didn't intend for it to go that viral. I didn't know it would go that viral, but I'm glad it did. And the response has been overwhelmingly positive. Over 95% of the people that watched it clicked the like button, as you can go read below here. And this is really important. It shows that when people are actually shown the facts, they begin to wake up. Now, some people said, war crimes? Angelina Jolie, she's an actress, she's an airhead, she's all these things. I don't think so. She's shown herself to be very, very smart. She is an official envoy of the UN, and right now is being promoted, or is in consideration to be promoted, to one of the head envoy positions over refugees. Now, in the articles that are at Infowars.com right now, and in the articles that I linked under the original video, I even show you the New York Times admitting that in Uganda, the country she's saying invade to get the boogeyman KONY, who controls a few hundred square miles and hadn't been seen for years, the UN sponsored groups are driving people off their villages and killing them. Right now, the UN is backing the Ugandan dictator, who has been connected to millions of deaths in the last decade or so, to drive more people off their land. That's why Ugandans are flooding YouTube with videos saying this is outrageous. No one's seen KONY in 5 years. He's a tiny warlord up in the Lakes region in the north. This is about the UN, who are the real villains in there, driving people out to steal their resources, posing as saviors. And Angelina Jolie is a ambassador, is a poster child, or a front person for these UN invasions that they dub as humanitarian. The UN has said they're going to go in and drive people out of areas that are, quote, environmentally sensitive with, quote, a green helmet brigade. Look it up. The UN is a murderous criminal organization at the top. All the countries that are members that are smaller have no power. It's all the Council of the United Nations that has all the power. And of course, Obama sat at the head of that council a few years ago, the first time a U.S. president actually sat on the Security Council. So the UN is just a model for neo-colonialism, and it's a debating club to make countries think that they have a place at the table. There's a reason you see Hollywood stars and Miss America and all of them constantly, since we were all children, tell us the UN is good, the UN is great, the UN loves the children. That's the PSYOP, psychological warfare, propaganda cover-up. Now, the vast minority of people said, hey, Alex, what about free speech? You're talking about arresting her for a thought crime. No, I'm not. And quite frankly, she probably won't ever get arrested unless we bring the entire criminal UN and the globalists to justice. I'm putting her on notice. She's being served publicly that if she is ignorant, she better research the facts and learn that the UN has been caught committing genocide all over the world and running giant sex trafficking operations of even children and selling weapons to people and destabilizing regions so Western corporations can come in and take over. This is the facts that we're talking about. So maybe she's ignorant. But the point is, she's calling for Joseph Kony's arrest in an invasion of Africa. And I'm saying, hey, lady, you're pushing a lot more death and destruction by putting your face on the cover of this globalist cereal box to sell this tyranny. It's that simple, okay? She is like a propagandist, like Joseph Goebbels. If they could have gotten their hands on Joseph Goebbels before he committed suicide at the end of World War II in Germany, do you think he would have been tried? I mean, he was just speaking. Words are power. The pen is mightier than the sword. And when you're in a position of authority, pushing for new wars in Libya, that was a totally criminal, illegal war. I've interviewed top military officers like Colonel Schaefer saying clearly it's illegal. Clearly it's treason. There's treason legislation introduced in the House for impeachment right now, and no news coverage because Obama's launching wars without congressional approval. And Jolie on Libya, Syria, all these places is cheerleading for these wars, calling them humanitarian. Just because you package war crimes and offensive invasions and funding rebels to destabilize and overthrow governments as humanitarian doesn't make it so. And it's even worse. They're not putting in good regimes after they overthrow these others. They're putting in Al-Qaeda and others that are torturing women, putting burqas over their heads, killing black Africans in Libya. They're putting all the radical groups in Egypt, everywhere, and Jolie is up there cheerleading this giant psyop. It's a psyop. Obama getting the Peace Prize. They knew he was going to launch all these wars with left cover. It's a sick joke, and they've got most of the anti-war crowd, who wouldn't even protest under Bush, running around praising war. So that's why I'm telling Jolie, you want to talk about arresting some phantom warlord who's hiding off in the jungle? Look at your own area. Look in your own eye for the beam that's there before you get a speck out of somebody else's. And all you supporting these wars under humanitarianism, grow up and realize you're being manipulated and brainwashed. So that's my message here. That's why I was angry in that video. Again, I'm Alex Jones reporting for Infowars.com. We'll be covering this more on the radio today. You can find the streams at Infowars.com or on XM 166 or on over 100 stations in your area. I will continue to do real research, and I will continue to cover real issues and give people real facts, and I will continue to expose bullies like Angelina Jolie, Ban Ki-moon, the UN, the globalists, NATO, all of it, until the end.